13 of the craziest fights of meerkats ever recorded on camera. So without any further ado, let's jump right in. Number 13. Meerkat vs. Snake. Snakes can be incredibly unpredictable, and there is no way to track their next move. Apart from that, some snakes possesses venom that can be life-threatening to the receiver. In situations like these, even the slightest fault on the opponent's end can prove to be fatal. But meerkats are no sloppy contenders, and they largely rely on teamwork to survive against such rivals. These meerkat pups are complete novices in desert survival and depend on the adults to gather food and hunt. The adults are keeping an eye out for probable danger, but fail to notice a deadly Cape cobra that enters their compound. The snake is dangerously close to one of the pups, and the infant is no match against the venomous contender. Seeing the pup in distress, the others join in the battle and start attacking the snake. The cobra snaps back and tries to intimidate the meerkats by exposing its fangs, but the assaulters show no sign of backing off. In the end, the viper accepts defeat and slithers away from the embarrassing confrontation. In a similar circumstance, a meerkat family notices a cobra sliding down a tree nearby and approaching them. They gang up against the serpent and surround it from all ends, carefully inspecting the threat, but maintaining enough space to stay out of striking distance. Their fearless demeanor makes an effective impact on the cobra as it silently backs off without causing any trouble to the family. This time, it's the rattlesnake versus the meerkats. The reptile coils up and lunges at the curious creatures each time they try approaching it. The meerkats are remarkably agile and jump back just in time to avoid the lethal bites. This intense showdown continues for several minutes, with both the rivals holding their ground effectively. Even though the meerkats did not come out as a clear winner, they did manage to inflict sufficient fear in the rival to keep it from causing any fatal injuries. Here, the meerkats join forces against the venomous puff adder snake. They huddle together and raise their tails to distract the viper and advance towards it to launch their attack. However, the snake is visibly threatened by its contenders and retreats without even making a single strike. Number 12. Meerkat vs. Jackal. The Kalahari Desert is infested with numerous predators, and the meerkats are always on the lookout for such dangers lurking around. Their fights are not always a physical altercation against their enemies. It is a nerve-wracking mind game to outsmart the endless threats in order to survive. These meerkats are meticulously foraging the desert in search of possible meals. Some of the adults on guard duty locate a jackal nearby and immediately alerts the rest of its community. They try to stay out of sight, but the jackal finds its way to their den. To evade the attacks, the meerkats escape into their secret tunnels. Even after trying relentlessly, the jackal fails to breach the narrow entrances and leaves empty-handed. Number 11. Meerkat vs. Mongoose. Even though meerkats and mongooses are closely related, this never rules out the possibility of an imminent battle between the two. They are equally fast, skilled, and cunning, which makes their confrontations more intense and unpredictable than ever. A yellow mongoose finds its home to be raided by a meerkat family. The adult meerkat spots the mongoose at a distance and observes the rival before launching an attack. In order to defend its pups, the parent dashes at the yellow rival, forcing it to leave the premises in haste. However, the mongoose returns after a while to reclaim its home and attacks the meerkat, but receives an instant backlash from the contender and scoots away as quickly as it came. Number 10. Meerkat vs. Scorpions. Scorpions are not an easy prey to catch, pertaining to their deadly pincers and venomous stinger that's capable of killing a human. With such lethal weapons, they are more than capable of defending themselves against many predators, but when it comes to the meerkats, their tricks and tactics fail to make a difference, since meerkats are nimble and immune to their venom. After playing around for a while, this meerkat focuses on finding prey and almost immediately nabs down a scorpion to devour it right away. It rips off the stinger of its prey to ensure that there is no risk involved and the victim is in no position to strike back. Once that is done, the meerkat settles to relish the crunchy goodness. This meerkat tirelessly digs up a huge hole and heads inside. Moments later, it comes up with the scorpion dangling from its mouth. Without any visible struggle or retaliation, the meerkat simply sits and devours the whole prey within a couple of seconds, before going for a second round of digging. Cut to the chase, this meerkat gets brutally attacked by a scorpion, sending it leaping into the air. The scorpion fights back and exposes its stinger every time the sneaky predator tries to get a grip over it, but eventually, the meerkat succeeds in pinning down the venomous prey, as we can see the lifeless victim hanging between the teeth. Number 9. Meerkat versus porcupine. Porcupines can be counted amongst one of the most secured animals on Earth. They can survive attacks from numerous predators without even putting any effort into it. Their sharp-pointed quills act as an impenetrable shield that not only protects them from becoming a prey, but also prevents others from getting anywhere near it. However, meerkats are crafty, and even though they might not be able to hunt down a porcupine, there are other scores that can be settled. These porcupines are enjoying a banana feast, but are constantly interrupted by the meerkats that want a share of this meal. The small creatures are struggling to get past the quills without getting pricked, but they don't have any intention of giving up that easily. After trying in numerous ways, the persistent stalker finally manages to grab a portion of a banana and chomp it down without enraging the opponents. Number 8. Meerkat versus bird. Meerkats are extremely vigilant and always on alert to detect any incoming threat. But land predators are not the only things they need to watch out for. There are countless aerial attackers that not only want to make them a prey, but also harass them in numerous ways to steal their meal. This meerkat community is out on a hunting spree, and while the adults are experienced hunters and know all the hunting protocols, the young ones are amateurs and still learning. They dig up worms from the sand, but are completely oblivious to the fact that a stalker is keeping a close eye on them. Just as one of the pups secures a huge worm for itself, the stealthy bird makes its move. It swoops right over the pup and settles near it to intimidate the meerkat. When the pup shows no interest, the bird hovers over the animal for some time but loses hope eventually and flies to a nearby tree. Number 7. Meerkat versus warthog. Meerkats are no match against the strength of a warthog and can get easily mauled by this deadly contender. But since they are fiercely territorial by nature, the meerkats cannot tolerate anyone invading their space and will snap at any opponent regardless of the consequences. Here, a meerkat is all set to confront a giant warthog and is constantly snapping at it. The warthog, however, shows little interest in the meerkat and continues to mind its own business. The small rebel returns to its underground hideout to guard the entrance, but also observes the movement of the warthog. As the huge animal approaches its den, the meerkat snaps back again without a tinge of hesitation or fear. Fortunately, the warthog shows no sign of aggression or violence and stays calm the whole time. Number 6. Meerkat versus cat. Cats are well equipped with all those qualities that are required to be a flawless predator. With sharp retractable claws, quick reflexes, and immense flexibility, it is almost impossible to tackle a feline. Meerkats are extremely nimble creatures, and their agility and sneakiness are the key factors in most of their attacks. A casual banter between a cat and a meerkat gets ugly when the meerkat intensifies its attacks on the cat. Even as the cat shows displeasure towards the annoying playmate, the meerkat continues to attack the cat and even tries to bite down one of its hind legs. The cat flips out and snaps back, attacking the meerkat with its claw. To create a distraction, the sneaky opponent pretends to be digging, and just when the cat lets the guard down, it attacks again and doesn't show any sign of stopping even when the feline escapes and scales a structure. This vicious gang of meerkats are violently mutilating a kitten. The entire mob grabs the cat from all ends and tries to rip it into pieces. They bite down the flesh and shake their head vigorously to take out a chunk of the kitten. Eventually, they leave the lifeless kitten and settle down to inspect the cadaver to figure out a way to devour it. Number 5. Meerkat versus monkey. Since monkeys and meerkats have their cheeky nature in common, their confrontation is nothing less than interesting and full of uncertainties. Meerkats are clever and study their opponent before making a proper move. Sometimes, the fight might not even have a purpose, but just a demonstration of their sassiness. This meerkat is sharing a contained enclosure with a bunch of colobus monkeys. Initially, the meerkat stays out of sight of the monkeys and takes this time to observe the behavior of the primates. The monkeys clearly do not consider the tiny creature as a threat and completely ignore it. Taking advantage of it, the meerkat approaches a monkey and at the perfect moment sneaks in to pull its tail before dashing out of sight. Number 4. Meerkat versus hamster. Even though meerkats mostly work in teams and are more effective hunters when they attack together, a single meerkat is equally skilled in hunting down smaller prey. Their lightning-fast strikes make it difficult for the prey to plan a defense or escape from the predator. A bunch of hamsters are feeding on some greens in a tub when an opportunist meerkat takes this opportunity to attack the tiny animals. The attacker is aware that the hamsters are not developed enough to prepare a proper defense and jumps into the container to nab one of them within a couple of seconds. The frantic chaos forces it to leave momentarily, but it returns to collect the downed hamster and return to the other end of the room to dismember the hamster and devour it piece by piece. Number 3. Meerkat eating millipede. The major part of a meerkat's diet depends on small insects they find in the sand. Millipedes can be found in abundance, but there is one major threat in attacking these preys. The toxic exoskeleton of the millipede can have detrimental effects if consumed, but meerkats use exceptional tactics to overcome this obstacle. This guy digs up the sand to procure a millipede, but instead of consuming it directly, the meerkat rolls the millipede into the sand rigorously to remove the toxic chemicals. Once that's settled, the attacker holds down the crunchy snack on one and rips off the millipede from the other end and munches on it. This meerkat secures a huge millipede for its lunch, but before eating the tasty meal, it rubs the insect on the sand multiple times to make sure the chemicals are completely stripped off the victim. It takes out a tiny portion of the victim with each bite and enjoys the tasty meal. Number 2. Meerkat eating lizard. Lizards are a difficult victim to catch and usually stay out of reach of most predators. They can escape at the slightest hint of danger, but once in a while, meerkats succeed in taking down this prey and do not waste a chance in destroying the victim. Cut to the chase, this meerkat has already hunted down a big lizard for its meal. It shows a slight struggle in ripping off the lizard, but after some tries, the attacker severs the tail end and munches on it before moving on to the rest of the body. Number 1. Meerkat versus meerkat. There can be multiple reasons behind a clash between the meerkats. One of the prominent reasons is territory. These animals are extremely possessive about their holding estates and do not entertain any sort of trespassers. A brutal war is about to break out between two rival mobs of meerkats. When one of the community trespasses into the other's turf, but instead of backing off, they commence attack, a war becomes inevitable. The two gangs clash and a merciless battle ensues. They pin down their rivals with the help of long razor-sharp claws and deadly teeth. Once the contender is down, they go for the neck as a final strike. After a violent war, the challengers are outnumbered and defeated. This gang digs out an offender from an underground hideout and immediately starts attacking it. The attacks are so brutal and barbaric that the opponent goes down before putting up a fair fight. One of the meerkats throttles the rival, while the others take turns to inflict wounds all over its body. That's all for today, folks. Which of these encounters did you find the most intriguing? Let us know in the comments down below. Plus, don't forget to like and share this video with your friends and family. To get more such amazing videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you can get notified every time we come with a new video. Have a great day, and we hope to see you soon in another exciting video.